Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin Reviews for yet another video, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you my favourite movies of 2025 as well as some honourable mentions. And so before we get into how I do all of this, I'll just give a bit of context. So there has been a couple of years have gone by where I've done these types of kind of movie videos where I've seen a certain amount of films throughout the year, and then it's came down to the last minute of the year or the last sort of few days of the year, and I do a video where I give you the top 5 film of the year or whatever. But this time, because I was able to expand my horizon, go and see a variety of films and enjoy films at the cinema, I have actually put together about I want to say almost 10 honourable mentions and about a top 10 of 2025. So I will give you my top 10 honourable mentions and my top 10 of 2025. And if you don't believe me when I say this, I've actually just wrote it on my phone here, so I've got them right here. So the honourable mentions are down at the bottom, top 10 is up here. So let's start off with going from down below here. I actually have One Battle After Another, which starred Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, that was a really good film. I really did enjoy it. It's just because of how many films there was this year, it just didn't hit the top 10 for me, because I realised there was other movies this year that really stuck out and I really enjoyed. So One Battle After Another was one of them. It really did crank, like, in terms of movies this year. I thought about that movie and I thought how good that was. So then I've got F1, the film, the F1 movie with Brad Pitt. Now that was enjoyable too. It had a summer feeling to it. It captured the vibe of everything you need in a summer movie, so that's why I put that there. I've also got Marching Powder, which stars Danny Dyer, which is another kind of funny movie. It stuck out because it was like, you know what, this movie's funny, there's a certain style to it. It just had something about it where I just kind of it sticks out in my memory bank, and it just sticks out in my mind, like, you know what, that movie was also quite enjoyable. So my other honourable mention is Novocaine. I also got John Wick, the Ballerina film. Now these were 2 action movies. One was Novocaine, and that was really quite an enjoyable film. It was like how the guy couldn't have any pain and he went to attack everyone and he tried to prove himself. So that was a good film. It was really entertaining, that kind of movie. The Ballerina John Wick movie with Ana de Armas was pretty entertaining as well. It would have been in my top 10, but I saw like a lot of films, as I mentioned before, and that was just one of those films I could just remember. Like, yeah, Ballerina, John Wick, the John Wick from the John Wick universe, that was pretty decent as well. So now we're coming into the sort of honourable mentions, my kind of Indian honourable mentions, if you want to call them that, because right here I've got Arjun Son Of Vjayanthi. They call him OG in War 2. So Arjun Son Of Vjayanthi was an action movie, and you've got, they call him OG in War 2. So these were like these kind of big, entertaining Indian movies. Arjun Son Of Vjayanthi and War 2 were action movies in the cinema that I saw. There was a memory about that where it was entertaining. I was going to see it with a crowd, so I just threw it in there. And then they call him OG because it's one of the more recent Netflix movies that I saw on Netflix. It had a certain style to it. It combined like Japanese sort of traditions with Indian culture, and it had a lot of cool action sequences in it. And I thought, you know what, that's going to be sticking in my mind, and I'll kind of remember that as time goes on, because it was just something about it, something enjoyable about it. And I mean, there was a lot of a good few Indian movies I saw this year, but those 3 films really stuck out in my memory bank. They just really were sort of those type of films where I was like, you know what, those films in 2025, that was something that, you know, before, you know, in 2024 I saw Indian films, in 2025 I saw Indian films, and this year I really went all out when I saw so many of them and went to the cinema for that. So those are just a few honourable mentions of those, but you can find my Indian movie reviews on my channel. I'll link that down below as well. I'll probably put that playlist down below as well. I'll link down below all the movies I've seen this year. So without being around the bush too much here, I've also got the Minecraft movie in my honourable mentions. Now, the reason why this is actually really high in my honourable mentions is because I had a really good memory with this movie. I was a part of a cultural experience where I went to see the film in the kind of like a week after it came out, and it was in the peak of when everyone was talking about it and everyone went to see it. And also it surprised me because I like Jack Black, but I'm not like I don't like go crazy for Minecraft, so I was like, I don't know where this is gonna go. I go and see the film and I was just laughing non-stop throughout the film. So honestly, that's why I put the Minecraft movie in one of my highest points of the honourable mentions, was because it was a funny film. It stars Jack Black. It was just entertaining from pretty much beginning to end. I can't remember a time where I wasn't laughing. It's one of those films. And there was a few films like that this year, and that was one of them. So there is that. But my favourite honourable mention on this list that I have for my honourable mentions has to go to Weapons, which is the 2025 horror movie with Josh Brolin and all those other actors. There was something about that movie where it was an original script and it just kept you guessing more and more and more as the movie went on, and it just stuck in my memory bank, like I said earlier, that it's just one of those films where you remember what you done with that movie. You went to see that film, it had a certain style to it, and it really captivated me in a certain way. I was like, you know what, I'm going to remember that film. So that is all my honourable mentions. I have probably put about 9 or 10 honourable mentions in my phone notes there. So now we move on to the top 10 movies of 2025. In my personal opinion, if you've got 10 movies or 10 honourable mentions as well, let me know down in the comments. But to start off, to kickstart the top 10 of 2025 for me, goes to Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Now, this movie should have been released in the cinemas. It should have had a longer release run because this film had something about it, a certain style, a certain way to do the film, the directing, the acting. It was so different to what I actually thought it was going to be. It made me think, oh yeah, that's really what I wanted it to be. Like, it had a certain way to do it. It wasn't just your obvious typical Frankenstein story. They put a spin on it, and there was just something about it that I just really dug, and I really wanted to watch it again. But then a few more films came out, and unfortunately, I couldn't really go back and watch it again. But I definitely will go back and rewatch that film at some point. So there is that. Now we go into number 9, which is 28 Years Later, which is the third movie in the 28 years of the 28 franchise, where you had 28 days and 28 weeks, directed by Danny Boyle. And this movie was just really good. Like, the acting, just the style of it, everything just seemed to captivate me in a certain way, and I just really enjoyed what it was going for. And I'm interested to see what the next part of the franchise has to offer when that comes out. I think it comes out early next year, which is pretty much on the horizon now, as we talk ourselves into how the fact that it is about like 3 or 4 days left of the year already. So that's quite crazy and interesting to see. So there is that. I did enjoy that movie, did enjoy 28 Years Later. I had that certain style to it, really enjoyed that. So then we go to number 8, which is Thunderbolts, which is probably my favourite Marvel movie of 2025, because it had this group dynamic, the acting was solid, there was like this dark fantasy epic sort of style towards the end of the film, where the heroes came and done the things to the bad guys, and there was a big twist with Bob, I believe it was, and that movie was just really good. I wanted to watch it again, but I was like, you know what, the movie was that great in the cinema, I just didn't really need to watch it again, because that's how good it was. I already knew how good it was, if you know what I mean. So I really did enjoy that one. So then we get into number 7, which is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, starring Tom Cruise and everyone else in the cast, and just that movie in general. That movie was really good because I went to see that movie in 4DX, and you know, the seats were moving about and the water was splashing about and all like that, and the movie just had that type of Mission Impossible style to it, where I will just remember that movie because of how much I enjoyed it, because it brings everything you like about Mission Impossible to the next level. And the swimming stunt, the yellow plane stunt still seem to swim around my brain sometimes. Like, I just still remember, it's still in the back of my brain, that scene where he just jumps on the plane and he moves about and all of that. Like, that is the type of stuff that I enjoyed out of 2025, with stunts like that, Tom Cruise just delivering as per usual. So then, Stays didn't even do that, but we've got number 6 on here. We've got Warfare from 2025, which was like this type of slow movie where it was kind of based on events, but then they did their own version of it, and it was like they did that whole thing, and I just thought it was quite an interesting movie and a different type of film for me, that I just enjoyed it, what it was going for. It was like a slow film, it used sound and emotion and things, and I thought it was quite a good film, so that's why it's in my number 6 spot. So then we get into the top 5 now. So this is going to be quite a big video, but let's just get into this. So number 5 on my list I've got for you on this video is Naked Gun 2025, starring Liam Neeson, because it's just a really funny movie. It captivates you into what really is Naked Gun. It brings entertainment value. It brings what you expect out of Naked Gun. It brings you jokes that you want action that you want, everything that you want in a Naked Gun movie. It's got it for you, but it is probably my second favourite on this list. It just really is a really enjoyable film. I mean, out of the Naked Gun movies, I did say in my video that it's probably my second favourite, because I liked some of the Naked Gun sequels, but that one was just something about that was really cool, and I got to experience with a crowd as well. We got to laugh it out loud and everything, so honestly one of my favourite films of the year. So then we get to the fourth film on this list, which I even thought to myself, you know, this could have been higher just because of how much I enjoyed it, and that is going to Nezha 2, which is the Chinese animated sequel that I never thought I'd be able to go and see at the cinemas, but it came out anyway and surprised me. It came out in March, it came out around like St. Patrick's Day, and I saw it about 3 times. Saw it in the biggest screen possible at Super Screen, saw it again at the biggest screen possible, went to see it again. I saw it about 3 times, and I just loved this movie. Like how the action was, and how much effort was put into the movie, how epic it was, the music. I mean, there was so much about it. There was like comedy, action, you were invested in it all, and I really was invested in it all. So that's why I really did enjoy the film itself. It was just something about that. And there was the first movie as well that came out in 2019. I did a whole video about, you know, Nezha 2 and the 2019 film, and I went all in with that because I just loved it, loved every minute of it. So there was that. So then we get into the top 3 of my 2025 movies that I personally enjoyed, and number 3 has to be, for me personally, Superman 2025, directed by James Gunn. I saw it twice at the cinemas. I saw it again on YouTube. I actually rented it on YouTube a couple of months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, something like that. And there was just something about the James Gunn movie where he just knew how to make a Superman film. He made David Cornsweet, was just some charisma to him, and then the movie was funny, the action was amazing, and I just remember it. It gives you a good feeling at the end of the movie when they play "'Cause I'm a punk rocker, yes I am," like when that starts to play, you just remember that, and it just sticks in your head. And what a film, it was just so good. So there was that movie, Superman. Already done a review on it, link that down below. So now we get to the top 2 films of 2025. Debatable if they are 2025 films. They came out at the start of 2025 for my own country, my own place I live in. So at number 2, I'm going for Nosferatu, specifically Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Now this film, there was just something about it, actually kicked off my year of 2025. I had a really good time with it. I remember going to see the film, and he just delivered the movie in a certain way where I just really enjoyed the movie. Granted, that experience was memorable with the fact that I went to see it with my mum and my sister, and it made it for an interesting experience alone. So honestly, I really did enjoy it. I do like Robert Eggers because he just has a style to how he does all of it, and then the directing was good, the acting was good. And I watched it again maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and I have to say I still enjoyed the film as to why it's so high on my list, because I had a certain thing about it and you just got invested in the storyline. It's a simple love story, so much to enjoy about that. But my favourite film of 2025 is The Brutalist. Now, I could have put Superman here, I could have put Nezha 2 here, I could have put a few films at number 1. But the reason why I thought that The Brutalist was really, really solid was because it really shape-shifted my perspective on cinema as a whole, because I went into this movie thinking, oh, it's going to be bad because it's 3.5 hours, and then I go watch this movie at the cinema and I'm like, that was brilliant. It had so much style to it. Every detail of the film, like how it's split into parts, and then the acting is great, and then there's just so much in the movie where you're just wanting to enjoy this film. It's just stuck out in my head how good it was, and it makes you think about everything that's going on. And it was depressing, but then it was done in a certain way where you just got invested in the story, and little by little you just wanted to watch that movie even more and more and more, and it was just solid from beginning to end. And I watched it again, like I said, I really did enjoy it. And that is my list of the top films of 2025. This will be a bit of a longer video than usual because I did a lot of honourable mentions. There was also Sinners this year, which I turned around and ended up enjoying a lot more. That's another film. There was so many films I could have chose from, but that is my list of all the films that I enjoyed in 2025. We could have made this a even longer video, but that's just how I felt about it. And so let me know how you felt about my video. What were your favourite films of the year? I thought I'd spice it up this year because obviously I'd only do about 5 movies in my top list of the year. Or there's one year where I did like the worst movies of 2025, but this time we're doing a big roundup of how I personally had like about 10 honourable mentions and 10 movies I just enjoyed in a top 10 list. So yeah. Stay tuned for more reviews like this one, and I will be back for more reviews in 2026. Can't believe those words just left my mouth, but yeah, that's 2025 over unless I change my mind. This is my last video of 2025. Stay tuned for more reviews on the James Rambling Reviews, and yeah, bye. See you next year in 2026. Bye.